Hi guys, I'm Mel from ClayBeds and I am a mum of 4. I have 3 beautiful daughters and a wee boy on the autism spectrum. And today I'm just here to have an open conversation with another beautiful mum that I've met along the journey. And we have Brooke.
Hey, Mel, I'm so excited for this.
Yes.
I've been looking forward to this for a long time, as you know, but you know what? Today has been even more fitting because it's actually International Day of Persons with Disabilities. So I thought it just fell on like the most perfect day because it's all about advocacy, bringing awareness to things like this. So, I feel like we're going to get stuck into so much of that and be able to really reflect on that, which is cool.
So exciting. Yeah. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Cool, yeah. I'm Brooke. I have 2 beautiful daughters, and one is 5 years old, Sophia. She is my little girl that was born with a rare metabolic condition. So we've got a medical journey there, and later on in life was diagnosed with autism as well. I've also got a beautiful little 3-month-old girl, Layla. So yes, I'm just enjoying that new mum journey as well.
Yes, all over again.
But I kind of missed out in some ways with Sophia. So I'm learning lots of new things as well. So
Oh, that must have been really hard juggling medical needs alongside autism. What are Sophia's medical needs?
Yeah, so Sophia was born with a really rare metabolic condition called propionic acidemia. So it's one baby born every 4 years in the world. So it's super rare.
Wow.
And we didn't know about it when Sophia was born, or even when I was pregnant, until she was 3 days old.
Wow.
So we ended up, she just wasn't feeding and was not kind of herself at 3 days old. And she was looking quite grey. Anyway, the midwife came over and she said, oh my gosh, she's struggling to breathe. And she ran in and brought oxygen and put her on a machine, and they called an ambulance, and we went straight to the hospital, which then later we actually got transferred to Starship to the PICU ward.
Wow.
And that night we found out about Sophia's condition. We were told that night that they think they know what it is, but they've sent away a Guthrie card as an urgent testing to see.
Is a Guthrie card
the newborn screening? Yeah, exactly. So they've sent it. Usually it takes a week to do, but this one they rushed through as like an overnight urgent one. But they said we need to start treatment tonight. We need to put her on dialysis, and if we don't start dialysis tonight, we've got a 5% chance of her surviving the night. So yeah,
wow.
So it was definitely a journey, and so of course we did. It was you're just going into motherhood and you think all these amazing things of, you're going to have this beautiful girl and you've bought all these clothes and prams and toys and everybody's, had baby showers and people have bought gifts. And in my mind, I didn't even know if I was going to, go home and be able to
get to use any of that.
Exactly. And it's like one of those things you just never would have thought about. You never would have dreamt about.
Yeah, exactly.
So she was put on dialysis and life support for 3 days, and she had multiple blood transfusions and everything. So we found out the next morning that was the condition. Our metabolic team that we were under were right, and they were treating it. Yeah, and our journey along the way has been touch and go. We've nearly lost her, obviously, multiple times, and we were told that she would never walk, talk, possibly even breathe on her own. And I mean, Sophia, she's
a beautiful little girl too.
And she's got sass, that girl. I mean, I feel like I always said in the beginning, she's got her father's looks and my personality. She definitely has my sass, which is coming back to bite me now.
It's most girls.
But and then Sophia had a liver transplant at 8 months old.
Wow, so how scary.
So we went through the process of that as well, which was to help with her condition. So it didn't heal or stop or fix her condition. It helped us live more of a stable life. We went in from living in the hospital every week to fortnight, with Sophia being unwell, with risk of her having more and more brain damage, to once transplant came, maybe every couple of months. So
wow.
It's definitely been a journey, and it's still a life we live of going in and out of the medical world, and hospital stays and all of those things, and having to be careful. But and then Sophia was diagnosed with autism around 3.5, 4 years old.
Oh, yeah.
And so it came alongside her medical metabolic condition.
Right. They think that like it was linked?
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, linked.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's been its journey in its own self.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, and we've just, learned to adapt to it and grow with it, and juggling multiple teams and
yeah. Well, navigating both. I mean, we just have Clay with autism. So I can imagine navigating both sides of the world would be extremely hard. What do you think is something that you've like learnt from the whole experience having both mixed with ASD and medical? Like, obviously it's made you an extremely strong person.
Wow, yeah. Well, yes, you're right, but patience.
Yes.
I am the most impatient person, and I was a sales rep before, and so you could imagine I never had any patience.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was terrible. But I've definitely learned patience on a whole new level. Yeah. For multiple things, but that's probably been the biggest one, but also strengths. You learn a strength that you never knew you had. I mean, oh gosh, there was always things thrown at us, and you think, oh, how can I do this? At the time, you think, how can I get through this? How can I? But you have to. It's your baby.
Yeah, you don't have a choice.
You just do anything for them.
Yeah.
And I mean, for me, I only had Sophia, but for you, you had other kids as well, and having to juggle that. So, I mean, how did you find it with that?
Well, I guess with having the 3 girls before I had Clay, so it was quite interesting for us. So we had the 3 girls, and like they say, no child fits into a box. Parenting is hard regardless of different needs, complex needs and things like that. But also I found like when we had Clay, it's interesting. I kind of think I could pick up on quite quickly that something was quite different because I'd had the 3 girls, and you can kind of see like it's not a checklist as such, but it's more like guidelines of, like when they walk or talk or start making eye contact or sleeping a little bit better.
Which I feel like that would be so much easier, right, for you, because having kids before. But like, did you think maybe with a boy it was going to be different?
Yes, well, that was actually something that I got a lot too. Like people would be like, oh, your first son, like, boys naturally are a little bit different. Yeah. So I was just like, oh, okay, cool. Like went with the flow. I think it was Clay's head banging that started a sign for me when he was about 6 months old, where I was like, oh, maybe picking up on something a bit different here. But yeah, I mean, definitely challenging. There was a lot of things I was used to. So simple things like receiving photos of your children in class photos, or attending kindy once they turn 2 years old. All those things that felt normal for our life all of a sudden came to like what felt like a complete stop, where we were now in a world navigating things that I'd never navigated before. Phone calls, appointments, discussions on like where to next. So yeah, it's definitely been a different style of parenting and learning for us as well. But yeah, I feel like we've got different sides as well. Like you, obviously your first child had needs, so that's like what you've learned first, and now you have another little one, and ours was the opposite way, where we had the girls first and then we had Clay. So yeah, it's definitely a journey. Still learning a lot. I'd like to say I have more answers now than I thought I did, but also
I feel like you never stop learning, right?
Absolutely.
Like you meet new people and then you learn something else, and or like they grow older and then there's something else that you learn, and so you're always learning,
Definitely.
Yeah, and I think it's really good to stay open to always learning.
Definitely. Or ring your friend.
Yeah. Ring me. No, don't ring me.
Brooke, what do I do?
Yeah.
So one question I have is, what is one of the things that felt really impossible that you're now able to look back on and think like that's improved, or it's gotten easier as such, or you've learnt more?
Yeah. Probably there's kind of like 2 things. I mean, one being medical and then one being ASD or autism, if we want to stick to that. But I mean, the medical side, I remember early on, Sophia had a feeding pump, and she's got an NG tube, nasogastric tube. And the feeding pump, I remember early on, she had to have it to be able to survive.
Yeah.
Like, she can't go long periods without any food. So if she didn't want to eat that day, we had to do the feeding pump. And she had issues in the beginning with silent aspiration. So when she would have a bottle or something, it would go into her lungs. So we had to do the feeding pump as well. And so I remember when we first got introduced to this thing, I called it a thing.
Yeah.
Because I never wanted to
yeah.
refer it to anything.
Yeah,
it was just like, it was a thing. It was this machine that sat in a box and you put the pump to it and you push all these buttons. And I just bawled every time I had to use it, because it was just like, why am I feeding my baby like this?
Yeah.
Why do I have to feed her like this?
Yeah.
And it was, now looking back, I can do it with my eyes closed. I can set it up. I can connect a tube up. I can start it. It's been the most amazing thing when you're out and about and you just need to get in the car and don't have time to eat, and you can just connect her up. And, it's something I just don't even think about now. But back then it was the hardest thing to accept and the hardest thing to do.
Yeah, definitely.
So that was probably the medical one. And then probably the autism one is definitely the screaming, especially when we're out and about. Sophia gets overwhelmed quite easily, and even in hospital and things like that, obviously words don't come, and so we're very nonverbal when we're in hospital, and so that's also really tricky. People's opinions and looks on that as well, the judgment. Totally. So just navigating around that. I mean, again, like we were saying before, we're always learning, and I feel like I'm still learning that now. I'm still, in the beginning, at first I didn't really care about it because she was young, but now obviously she's older. It's like your 5-year-old kid can't just stand in the mall and scream, whereas when they're a toddler they can, right? Like, you can get away with it.
Yeah, definitely.
Whereas now, like, people look at her or look at me and they're like, oh, she's just a bad mum or a bad parent. Like, she needs some discipline, but it's not that.
It's like with the strollers too, hey, like having our 5-year-olds in a pram. Just so that you can get through the mall with the option to pull the hood over,
or without her running away, or like wanting to go her own way, or it's all of those things that people don't understand, but has got me through, and now is like so much easier. Those would probably be the biggest things. No, I can relate to a lot of those. Like the pram situation, it took a while. Clay was a runner, so we would just be like, right, we're going to use a stroller, and you'd go out and you'd think like, oh, it's not a big deal. To us, because of his development delay, also we're just like, he fits in the pram, it works, and it's safe as also. But it's interesting, like, you feel, and I'm still unsure, and I don't know if you feel the same way, but I'm actually still unsure whether a lot of the judgment is actually something that I'm putting in my own head. Yes.
Like, if it's actually happening around me.
My mum always said that when she'd go out with me, she'd be like, no one's even looking. And I'm like, yes, they are. They're over there, they're looking. She's like,
they're judging me. Yeah.
You totally do. You totally do. But it's also because it feels unnatural for you at the time. Or
definitely.
Yeah. So
adjusting to things like that, right? It's always learning. So another subject I thought about touching base on is, what has been one of your hardest parts during this journey, where nobody sees that side of it, of the journey, and like, your alone time or things like that?
I feel like there's things like that. I mean, there's a couple of things. So I feel like the first one being, we have Mother's Day and Father's Day and things like that.
Yeah.
And so Sophia, kids go to school or kindy and they do artwork for their mum for Mother's Day, or their dad for Father's Day, or even coming up to Christmas, and I mean, we never really had that in the beginning, and so that was really hard, like that was an adjustment to that, we never got that artwork, or we never got those sorts of things. And then there's, things like school photos and, though in saying that, Sophia's just had her school photo and she smiled in a way that I have never seen her smile in her life. So I feel
like sometimes they do things for other people better than us though, right?
Totally. I mean, she normally does it for her dad, but even this one was better than the one her dad gets normally.
That's so good.
Yeah. So I mean, it's, things like that. And I mean, Sophia's in a special school now with her own, she's in a unit. So, I mean, it caters completely to her and what her needs are and things like that. So, I mean, we definitely get that. But the other one, I suppose, is also like being able to go out for like a date night and going out for dinner. And I mean, easily, like my friends, they'll just call up their babysitter and they'll come over at this time and they'll look after their kid and go out and have a peaceful night. Ours isn't like that. I mean, we've had times where we've tried to do it, but I mean, we've got to have someone that knows how to use the feeding pump. We need to know, we need someone who knows if Sophia starts crashing and going unwell, that knows the steps to take and what to do, to whether to call an ambulance, go to the hospital, start her ER plan, all of those things. So, I mean, it's not just as easy for us of being able to call up a babysitter and have someone that can just turn up. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, a lot of the times we either take our kids with us, or Sophia at the time, now both of them, but now or we have my mum that helps a lot, that's close to us and knows it, but if obviously she's busy and has her things, it makes it hard as well.
Babysitting's definitely one of the tricky ones. I feel also, like, I think we've got a lovely carer that works alongside us, and I was saying to Cody recently, like, we've got like a stag do and a hens do coming up. Yeah. And me and Clay's carer have both been invited to the hens do. And then, of course, Cody gets invited to the stag do. Yeah. But it's a matter of who's going. Yeah. Like between the three of us. Yeah. Because I need to attend. It's like my best friend's wedding. Yeah. And he's really good friends with the to-be husband, but then the babysitter is also friends with the bride. So you're left in a position where you don't want to ask, because it feels wrong to take somebody else out.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I've literally had this. The start of the year, my sister was getting married, and we had her hens and her husband's stag on the same night. Yeah. And so Jerry, my husband, was invited to the stag, and I was invited, and my mum to the hens. And it ended up actually me and my mum went to my sister's hens, and my husband stayed home and didn't go to the stag, because you can't, like, how do you pick? You can't. And I mean, unfortunately, he lucked out of the draw with that one, but because it was my sister, of course, and her daughter, my mum's daughter. But it was still my husband's brother-in-law. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
so that was a really tough place to be. So I totally get that. Yeah. But also, like, you can have, like, we've got a carer as well that helps us during the day on some days. Yeah. And I mean, that's great. But, if Sophia's unwell or, in hospital, that's not always the case.
Absolutely.
She can't be around us when obviously she's sick, because it's risk for her,
Of course.
So then there's also like that side of it, the flip side, whereas some other people, they can call a babysitter and they don't care if their kid's sick, because
it's just a general cold or
exactly. So I mean, and then there's evenings, right, where sometimes people have things on or can't do the evenings because it's not just easy of calling a 17-year-old babysitter that can come and just watch them while they sleep.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not always the case with our babies. They don't always sleep. So
sleep's overrated apparently. Yeah. Clay loves to stay awake. It's like party hour most nights.
Yeah, we're going through that phase right now. We're getting the 5 a.m., 4 a.m. wake ups. Yeah. Which is hard with a new baby as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm trying to be quiet.
Be quiet. Yeah. You will keep it down.
Yeah.
I was just thinking of something while we were having that discussion. One was, how have you navigated, like, with all of her hospital stuff, with her ASD? Like, I know for us personally, like when Clay had the flu a couple of months ago, it was really challenging. Like, we went into Starship. Luckily they do have a space in Starship, like a room that we could use for him to be in, so it was like lower stimulation and things like that. But like the navigation through, like, with IV lines and things like that, is it Sophia would be a little bit more used to that?
I don't think she'll ever get used to it. It's definitely a hard journey. I mean, one thing, I suppose it's a weird word to say, but one thing I'm kind of grateful for is that we go in a lot, so they kind of know us. Yeah. And I mean, that's, like I say, it's a really weird thing to say, but they've gotten to know things that work and don't work. Yeah. And I mean, I think for her, it's been hard because, there's lots of, like I said before, she doesn't want to use her words. So we've got like her device now. We've got an ASC device where she can use. But again, even then, sometimes she doesn't want to use it.
Yeah, of course.
Or there's certain things. I mean, for me, probably the biggest thing is the advocacy part of it, and advocating for what you want or don't want. I mean, it's also really tricky because you get different doctors that have their own ways of working, and
definitely.
their way is the right way in their eyes.
Yeah.
And it not necessarily is for you and your family.
Yeah.
And not all of them want to adjust to that. And so that is a big part. I mean, I found now as Sophia's gotten older and I've gotten further along on the journey that it's been more advocating for me and harder, the visits, because although I'm so used to being there and I know what to expect and I know what to do and I know what's right and wrong in some ways, there's also a lot that is hard because I feel like I'm having to put a lot more energy into it and advocate for things that should or shouldn't be advocated for.
It's like guesswork, a lot of it.
But also it's harder now with Sophia being bigger. You know, when she was a baby and we were doing IV lines, we could wrap her in a blanket and whereas now it's like me and my husband holding her down, being gassed, like you know, all of those things.
It's
traumatizing.
I was just about to say, it's really traumatic.
It's not just traumatizing for her, it's traumatizing for us. And that's definitely a process we've had to go through and work with, you know, because definitely after hospital visits, you go back home and it's like life's back to normal, you know? And
the road keeps going.
And then you go back again to hospital for something else and then it's like it's all re-triggered again. You know? So
I remember when we took Clay in recently and I was watching him get gassed and to get his IV line in, and I could just think about you, like, because I've like known you not for that long but enough to like know how your journey has been. And like I was bawling my eyes out standing there watching my boy like get gassed and like get an IV put in, and I was thinking like there's mums like yourself like that this has become like second nature. This is just being like you've gone through it so many times.
And like when you think about it, like it's one of the minimal things we've done.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Like which is like terrible to think about and like terrible to reflect on or like have that to think about to get you through.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But a lot of people say that to me. They're like, I don't know how you do it. Like, it's like, well, you just do it. You have to. You don't have a choice.
Yeah.
I have to take my baby in there. I mean, it was really hard when I was pregnant with Layla because I couldn't be in the room when she was being gassed.
Yeah, of course.
So I had to watch from the door and look through the window. And that was harder.
Yeah.
That was harder.
Not being able to hold her hand.
Not being able to hold her, but not being able to advocate. Not being able to say, no, stop, that's enough.
Yeah.
You know, we're not having multiple attempts today.
Yeah.
You know?
And there's a lot of that too. Like, that's what I found from this journey is like, there's a lot of fighting for, like, our voices are constantly getting used.
Yeah.
There's a lot of phone calls. There's a lot of like,
waits.
Yes, that's not right.
Yeah.
Like, I mean.
Constantly. I mean, that's probably the hardest part of the journey.
I agree.
In some ways.
I agree.
Like, there's lots of things that are hard.
Yeah, of course.
And everyone's heart is different.
Absolutely.
So, like,
there's no right or
what's
wrong
hard
either.
for me might not be hard for you and vice versa. So, everyone's heart is different, but that is hard.
Yeah.
The waits for things, I mean, the AAC device for Sophia, she got signed up when she was like 18 months or something.
Yeah.
And we waited, you know, that many years. I mean, I know kids still that are waiting.
And that can be a voice.
funding for schools, we waited. We started the process in August and we didn't get the acceptance until April. End of April. We've waited for, I mean, Sophia had to have shoe inserts for her shoes to help her with her walking. Oh my gosh, I remember it was COVID, and they kept just telling me, oh, it's COVID, it's getting delayed because of that. Honestly, 9 months, Mel. 9 months I waited.
Yeah, that's insane.
Honestly, by the 9th month, I was sick of hearing that. I thought, by the time I get these inserts, it's not even going to fit her feet because they've measured them to her feet. It's 9 months later. I got on that phone and I called them every single day.
And that's what it is.
I called them every single day for a month. That honestly, I think the woman was sick of hearing from me. And I was just like, I need
You
it.
have
And they
to.
arrived and they were too small. So we had to do the process again. I mean, luckily it wasn't as long. But, you know, it's things like that the waits, it's just, and it's things that are going to help. And all I could think, you know, just going off that one thing, if I think about it, like looking back, was is my kid now going to go from needing an insert in her shoe that is going to be hidden to now a full insert that's going to be up her leg when she's at school? And now I'm thinking of bullying. I'm thinking of, her looking different. I'm thinking of all these things. I'm in my head, of course. And so it's all that sort of stuff that triggers you and creates other things. But that's just one fight you're fighting. Then we're fighting hospital fights going in. Then we're fighting something else. Speech therapists and OTs.
Yeah.
We've got community support, but then they're not there. So then, we're going to pay for private, which is coming out of our own money.
Financial strain is definitely real.
Totally. And then there's needs assessments. We have needs assessments every 6 months to a year. Some people are lucky and get longer. And there again is one of the things you've got to look at your brim darker self, because you won't get a scratch of funding otherwise. So you have to tell them everything negative. And so you're always in this pit of fighting. And
or reading back assessments of how terrible your child is doing. Because you run the risk,
of not getting something.
Which that's something that I find that I think I've found along this journey extremely challenging. I just sat recently and waited for oars and forever grateful that we've got it, over the moon. But I tell you what, that 10 weeks, I would message you every week and be like, it's not in yet, it's not in yet. And I actually remember sitting on my bed one night thinking to myself, the power that other people hold in their hands for your children's futures.
But your futures until they leave school.
Yeah. And it's so I was thinking if these people come back and say he doesn't need it, I'm his mum. I'm telling choice in this. I'm trying to tell you that he does need it. My child is a runner. My child turns into a complete mute. There's a lot of areas where I'm no, he absolutely needs it. But again, it's a constant battle. Sitting with that feeling in your stomach. I remember the day that my phone started ringing and I was here we go. Amping myself up to either get told no or to get told yes. And I was one of the lucky ones that got told yes. But there is a lot of people, a lot of families out there that receive the no.
And we got knocked down as well.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's high and very high, and we applied for very high and we got high, and it was really hard because we picked up our EIT, early intervention teacher, I think a week or two before the application.
Oh, wow.
And we did it with our speech therapist. Our speech therapist at the time, she was amazing. And so I found it really hard because a lot of people, their kids go to kindy or schools or something before, or daycares. And so they have that support there with them. And we didn't have that with Sophia because obviously I was her full-time carer. And so we're writing this application. I remember them just giving me this paperwork and being okay, you fill out what you can fill out and just put some examples down. And then you give it back to us and then we'll go through it and then we'll firm it up and then we'll meet again. I remember reading the questions and I was oh my God, I don't have the capacity for this. I don't have the capacity for this. And everyone all the supports I had around Sophia, I had her OT, her music therapist, her swimmer teacher, her carer, her, a couple of friends that were teacher aides, and they all said to me, Sophia's definitely going to get very high. She's definitely going to get very high. There's no doubt about it. And the EIT, every time she met me, she said, no, we're just going to apply for high. We're just going to apply for high. I think she'll just get high. I said, no, I want to apply for very high. And, we did get knocked down to high, and it was a hard one at the time. I did try to say, can we reappeal and go back and try for very high? But I kind of got knocked back and said, it doesn't really matter either way. She's going to get the support in school that she needs. But it was really hard for us because Sophia has her medical needs, and her medical needs are more than probably her autism needs in some way with certain things. And so ORS doesn't cover that. ORS doesn't fund that. ORS doesn't fit that criteria. And so then there's high health needs, right? Funding, which is for medical kids. So we could have done that. But then it's reapplying for every 2 years. And
it's more.
It's more.
It's more.
Yeah, it's more. And the
Yeah.
funding wasn't even more. It was less.
Yeah.
And so I thought, why? Why am I putting myself through this?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just going to accept it. And this is the thing, we give up. We give up
pick
early.
battles too because sometimes you're too exhausted.
Yeah. And so now, like, it's hard because there's certain things that have come up at school or, and I'm thinking, oh, if I had very high, would we be having this?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think this is the thing that we're always, well, for me, myself, I'm always trying to think of Sophia's future and like thinking of what I can push. And yeah, I've had speech therapists that have come and they've said, oh, yeah, we can learn that or we could do this, but it'll come.
Yes.
No. We're not doing it'll come.
Yeah.
What can I do to get that to come sooner?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Or,
yeah.
I mean, even with her OT and walking and physios and stuff. And I remember one of them saying once, so I was unsure about something or nervous about something. And they says, oh, get her to walk up the slide backwards. That'll help strengthen her legs. And so, yeah, there's just lots of things it's like, please come and walk in my shoes for a day.
Yes, absolutely. I've been through this with behavioral therapy. Like, it's the same thing. I mean, everyone's got their job and like some of it works amazing and others don't. But I think it's more based around how you interact with the parent, like especially when we're tired. I mean, I've had somebody come into my home and be like, oh, he's got autism. And I'm like, excuse me?
Oh, yeah.
You've been sent to my house because my son has autism. I'm struggling. I don't have these bags under my eyes for no reason. I'm not bawling my eyes out because I think this is fun. Like, and it's really hurtful too. Like, so it's just.
And that's the hard thing because they come in for a split half an hour
Absolutely.
Or hour,
yeah.
and they have an opinion that they're generalizing off other kids that they see, which no child is the same.
And that's the interesting
anyone
part.
Who meets, I mean, I always say this, but I know it's like a common thing that's said is, you meet one child with autism and you've met one child with autism.
That's correct.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you can't, you have to keep saying that again. And I mean, even Sophia's condition, you meet one child with propionic and you've met one child with propionic because so many of them are so different.
They're different, yeah.
I joined I remember early on in the time when we got Sophia's diagnosis, and I joined a Facebook page.
Yes.
And it was other families with kids with PA or adults as well with PA. I think the oldest one was about 36 or something at the time. And I remember them saying, oh, don't go on there, you'll see and you'll hear lots of things and we don't like to do it, because it's around the world, all the medical things are different.
Yeah.
And, but you know what? I loved it.
Yeah.
I felt like I found my own community.
Yeah.
And that's one thing, when you're not in that space, you feel like the disability community is so little.
Definitely.
And there's not that many.
Yeah.
But when you in it and when you're in it and you find that your community, they feel so big.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, there was lots of pros and cons to it. I mean, I met lots of families there that also had lost their kids. And I'd met lots of families that had gone through other journeys or had tried certain things. So I mean, there's pros and cons to it all. But I think like we said earlier, you're always learning and you're always trying to grow and you're always trying to better yourself, but also your kids. And so it's one of those things that you just
I think you do an amazing job at it anyway.
Oh,
so I'm like, whenever I feel like I need something or I'm unsure, and I think that's why when I met you like at the birthday party and I found out you had a child with ASD autism, I literally was just like, I need to talk to her. My journey was very like lonely and isolating. There's no one in my immediate families on either sides or anyone I knew. I've never had a friend like have a child with autism. So they're like, oh, this is Brooke, and then I'm like, yeah, awesome, like I'm just gonna cling on, like
but
like it gives you something. There's been in those dark moments too, like it gives you someone to talk to or ask a question. And I mean, Sophia and Clay are very different in a lot of areas, but there's a lot of things that we can like learn from each other in the open conversations or the support or the messages when I'm bawling my eyes out or it's just knowing somebody's there that gets it, because there's a bit of a different feeling than
Totally.
talking.
And I think, and sometimes it's not even like you've got to have words either. You
don't.
can literally just sit there.
Yeah.
I mean, I know even like when I invited you guys to Sophia's birthday, and Clay came, and and your beautiful girls as well. But I remember you asking me like before the birthday, oh, what can I get Sophia for her birthday? I want to get her something that she wants and she's going to play with.
Yeah.
And honestly, I was like, I had to stop in my tracks because I've never had, I mean, people ask, what do you want?
Yeah.
But they never asked in a way that it's like, because you want something she's going to play with.
Yeah.
That's a different thing. It's not, it's a phase, or it's a, you know, they're into Barbies right now, or they're into this or whatever. It's actually, you know, our kids don't have all these toys that they play with. I mean, Sophia's still got this toy that she's had since she was a baby, that musical toy that she pushes. I think Clay's got the same one.
It's a favourite.
And she sits there and plays it over and over again. I mean, I'm waiting for Layla to steal it from her eventually soon. But,
same tune, hey, on repeat.
Literally, I mean, I tune out to it now, but, you know, it's things like that. And, I just remember there was that particular moment where, you know, I've got lots of really good friends and family that understand and have helped support me through Sophia's journey, but none to that degree of understanding.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, absolutely. It was like when you messaged and said, what are Clay's foods?
Yeah.
And then I arrive at the birthday party and there's like cucumber on the table with no skin on it. I mean, no one's ever... You know, like...
Yes, I had that with another friend as well.
And I like had a
her
chair,
little boy had like mini Oreos was his thing. So,
and it's so cool, like, because you felt, in that moment, I felt accepted for Clay. And I didn't have his lunchbox with me for the first time in a long time, because everywhere you go, you prepare everything because it's going to be hard. Like, he's not going to eat the party food, or we're going to spend...
Or they'll eat cucumber, but they'll eat it a certain way, right? So there could be cucumber there, but they won't eat it.
He doesn't eat circles, it sticks, you know, like, and we might spend most of that birthday party in the car park. Or and I've avoided a lot of birthday parties, but like I knew coming to Sophia's that you get it, you understand. There would be space for him or me to be in the car park with him, and there would be no judgment, and it would just be, you know, free flowing, and we can leave if we need to. I just, it's definitely been helpful having a friend on the journey as well. So
yeah, you too, Mel.
Yeah, thank you. What would you say is one support or activity that you think has benefited Sophia along the journey?
I've probably had a few, but probably the biggest one, like, physically, mentally, emotionally, on all levels, has been music therapy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We haven't tried that.
Nah, it's, so we've been doing it since Sophia was very young. Yeah. And we first got into it because she just loved music. Like, we would be in the hospital and she'd go to the playroom and it would be musical stuff she'd go to. And I think music has got us through so many things. Yeah. And so... yeah, but it also has helped her like developmentally and moving around spaces, and you know, because she's got no awareness of her space. Yeah. And I mean, sharing all of those things. And she's got an amazing music therapist that she's had along the whole journey. Oh, I love that. And so that has been incredible because she's got this beautiful bond with her.
So is it one-on-one?
One-on-one. Oh yeah. And it's just for half an hour once a week.
Oh, awesome.
And they're just incredible. And she's now got it also at her school. So they have a couple of terms a year where they go in as well. But it's a group session. So it's quite nice because I've kept her one-on-one one as well. And then she does a group one with another lady on
That's awesome.
the other day at school. Yeah.
Whereabouts does she do that?
So the one we do one-on-one with is with Rokotori Music Therapy Trust. Yeah. They're just in Grafton. So we drive out there and go to that. And then the one on the Tuesday with her class, they go to the school. The teacher goes to the school, the therapist goes to the school and does it with them. Oh, that's
really, I need to look into that. I think music is a hit, isn't it? Like,
yes. And like so many autism kids love music.
Yeah, they do. I mean,
I think it's just like one of their ways getting through.
That reminds me of Clay trying to get songs out to us. So at the moment, he's obsessed with different songs. Yes. We've got different sounds or different words for songs, and it's like guesswork. So we're like out here trying to, one's like purple song, and we're like, no idea, I'm still trying to figure out purple song. So anyway, he's like humming a tune and I'm like, okay, I'm struggling. Like, I can't pick this up. What is this? And then I get my 9-year-old and I'm like, oh, Lucy, have a listen. Like, what do you think he's trying to hum, darling? And then she's like, no, I can't get it. And I was like, okay, I'll wait for Jada. It's his big sister.
Yeah.
And then she comes in and he starts, and I'm like, Clay, what is it? What is it? And he starts humming. And then Jada turns around and looks at me and goes, Mum, it's Baby Steps from Olivia Dean. And then I'm like, huh? Like,
She just knew straight away.
She just knew.
Yeah.
And so then I check it on and I'm like, let's find out. And then he just starts stimming. Like, he's just like, can't believe, like, you've got it.
Yeah.
Like, you worked it out.
Yeah.
And like,
oh my God, isn't that the best feeling too when you find it?
Yeah,
like, it's so good, right?
Yeah. And you feel, and that's something with this journey. Like, I feel like all the time it's like guesswork.
Yes. Oh my God. Well, that reminds me, we've got one with Sophia.
Yeah.
Hers is elephant. Like, she's always trying to tell me about an elephant. She watches YouTube videos and it's elephant. And you'd think now with her trying to tell me that I would just remember how it's said. But I still sometimes get stuck in my tracks. And the other day she was trying to say it and I'm like, baby, I really don't understand what you're saying. She goes, and I was, oh, elephant. She's like, yeah. It's like, oh my God, only another mum would understand, right? That's
absolutely. Yeah. No, we're over here like, it's like
here's me getting excited over an elephant and you're getting excited over a song, you know.
I feel like I won the lottery when I just get it.
Yeah.
And like there'll be days
they feel like they've won the lottery too, right? Because we've understood them and we know and we Yeah,
definitely. I wanted to also ask you, because with Clay, with this journey, like when you with like music therapy and things like that, when it's time to say goodbye, like to move on to like a new therapist or they're moving countries or things like that, like how do you find, not just for Sophia, but like for yourself, how do you find the transition? I mean,
it's so hard. I can probably relate to that with my speech therapist. I went through like in the beginning of the year, the beginning of Sophia's journey, we had it for her feeding stuff.
Yes.
And then we went on to then her speech and that. And I remember we went through probably like, I want to say like 7 or 8 speech therapists. We went through heaps. So just them leaving and someone else coming in that. And I freaked each time because I'd just get a bond with someone and then understand Sophia and then know what to do. And then I'd get someone else and then I'd have to re-explain everything again. And it probably wasn't until our just recent last one left and I got a new one and she was amazing. She just was so relatable. Yeah. She had no kids, but she just got it. Yeah. She just got it. And I'm not someone that needs hyping up ever. Like, I just get on with things. But she was always, every visit, every communication she had with me, whether it was a text, an email, a visit, she would always be telling me how much of an amazing mum I am.
Oh, and
that was just like, at the time, it was like, I didn't know I needed that, but I needed that. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And so, she just got it. And even when we were going through the OARS application with the funding and stuff for school, she was helping with it and I said to her, I'm just overwhelmed with it. I can't do it. It's just too much. And she was like, nope, that's fine. No worries. We'll sort it out. We'll do this. We'll do that. And so, there was just no if, buts, maybes about it. She just, I
think when they support you, it's like a different support, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's like with Clay's occupational therapist, we've just lost her. She's moving and like, I made that goodbye so awkward. Of course. Like, Clay's got no idea. Like, he literally has no idea he's never going to see her again. Like, so he's fine. We're leaving. It's just the end of a normal session for him.
Yes.
But I'm saying goodbye to somebody who has put their love and time into my child. Yeah. Like, who's seen me on my worst days. I've walked in there with like tears streaming down my face. I've stayed in the car sometimes because I'm so upset and so tired and I just need a mental break. Like, I've put him in there and just been like, please, like, help. Like, I just, so when you develop relationships like that, a vulnerable relationship with people, it becomes really hard to say goodbye, is what I've found. Like, it gives me anxiety, like, oh no.
But it's like putting your trust in somebody else, right?
Starting again,
are they going to have the best intentions for your baby as well?
And some personalities match and some don't.
Totally.
Also, so, yeah. It's definitely just all part of the journey.
You have that. I have that a lot with obviously the medical journey, like I was saying before, with different doctors, and I've got lots of different medical teams that we're under. So we have the same thing and working together and stuff. So and I think even with that, like, you have different doctors that have trained and done these amazing degrees and all sorts. And, you know, you questioning them or, you know, making sure that they're doing the right thing. I want to be given all the information. I want to be given all the options, and then I want to make a decision. I don't want you to make the decision for my baby.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and that, like, I've said, like, I don't want my baby to be a guinea pig.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a hard place for a doctor to hear, like a hard thing for a doctor to hear, because that's their way. That's what they know. That it's all trial and error. And so that's also hard, you know. So, I mean, yeah, definitely. I've had doctors where I'm like, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want anything to do with you. I want them. Yeah. Yeah. They know Sophia.
They know her needs and her signs and cues and sounds.
Exactly. And they've tried things and that's not worked, or, you know, and so that can be hard, you know.
Definitely.
And going back to, like that advocacy of, you know, having to be that support. I mean, it's you. It's you. You've got to be on the pulse 24/7.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there is options in regards to like, you know, like waiting for SRTs and OTs and things like that. But it all comes at a financial strain, like unless you want to go private, you know, it's like with AAC device. I've gone ahead and done that privately, which was lucky for us because then we could get it quicker. And I had a beautiful lady that was willing to support me to go through that. But it breaks my heart to think that, you know, there's
not everyone can afford that.
No way.
Yeah,
there's
thousands.
So many families out there that are in a position where they're just like, that's out of my reach. Like, so.
Well, I mean, we had a similar thing with Sophia's speech therapists and like OTs and physios and stuff early on because she was on a wait list. And so we ended up going private for a speech therapist, which they actually did the speech therapy very different to how the community do. Yeah. And so we picked up the speech therapist privately. I mean, it was at the time, from memory, it was a couple $100 for an hour. And we ended up using our funding through her needs assessments. Yeah. And but they said to me, we're only approving this because you're on the wait list for the community. Once you get picked up from the community, then you can't go anymore. You can't use your funding. You will need to pay. Yeah. Which was a really hard place to be at afterwards. Like at that time I was like, yeah, cool, whatever, I don't mind. Like I'm gonna be able to get there, and my daughter's gonna be able to learn to speak, hopefully. Yes. Yeah. But when it came to the time where actually I had to stop the private session and I had to go with the community one, they offer completely different things. Yeah. I mean, the speech therapist privately was down there with playing with things, and we had a word a week that we did, and we like I learned so much just in those sessions that I could take home and do. And then I had the community support come, and theirs was just like, okay, you can have this flashcard this week, and then that's what you can learn. Yeah. And here's a book about this, so here you go, you can learn that. And here's a video that you can go and watch and you can learn. None of it was, I don't have time. Do you think I have time to go and watch a video about how to get my child to talk to me? Yeah. You know, and again, not one thing works for everyone. Exactly. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
and
it's
so
like devices and all things are
I'm
different.
in hospital, I can't be like, no, okay, we're going to say no. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. She couldn't care less.
Absolutely.
I'd be kicked in the head.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So there's definitely that. I mean, you've just got to be on the pulse 24/7 with everything.
Yeah. I was going to say, if there's a message I could send, like, I feel like it would, you know, you'd feel the same way, as if I could send a message to anyone listening, like my message would be like, don't give up. Your voice is your voice for your children is the strongest thing. Yeah. Like, stay on that phone, like what you've
Mel,
taught
can
me.
I record that? Because you definitely need to re-listen to that. You definitely need to re-listen to that. Yeah. That's what I told you with Oars, right? Like,
stay on the phone.
Stay on the phone. Call them, email them, message them.
Yeah. You have to stay on the ball, right? Yeah. And I feel like some days you've got it.
Even on your hardest days.
Yeah. And some days you've got it. And other days, like, I'd sit at my dining room table with my head hung down and I'm like, I can't do this. No, like, another day. Yeah.
You can. But, and I think that's the thing, like, when you have a high, it's like really high. Yeah. Because you've been through some terrible lows, right? Yeah. And so it's like, all those little things you've got to like just take to push you through.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've got to remember what it's going to achieve. Yeah. You know, it's going to achieve that actually your baby's going to be able to tell you what song he wants.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, or he's going to be able to tell you that I need a drink, or, you know, I need my nappy changed.
Yeah. And these are massive highs too, like for us, like just things like that, like Clay coming out with the wood water. I mean, I could have fallen backwards, like off my chair, because I was like, oh, my son's asked me for a drink. Like, it's amazing, you know, and those are things that you take and you smile and you walk with that for weeks. Like things that I used to take for granted with my other children. Like, it's amazing. So much things that you just realize you're like, wow, that's massive now.
Yeah.
Like, So what would be a message that you would like to send to a parent that has just received a diagnosis for their child?
Oh, I mean, that's a tough one. I feel like if I just reflect on my journey when I was told of Sophia's diagnosis, it was tricky because we had like 3 or 4 hospital visits before that with the pediatrician. And so every time they were like, we want to diagnose her with autism, but we're going to wait because she's got global development delay. So we're going to wait and see how she goes. Yeah. And so I was like, okay. So I kind of expected it, but then it wasn't until that final one that they said, okay, we're going to diagnose her with autism. How do you feel about that? Because they wanted to put it on her file. And I said, yeah, okay, yeah. And, you know, obviously I want her to get all the support she can and all of that. And so I was fine about it. I left the appointment and I felt relieved. Like I'd had the diagnosis. I knew what was happening. Yeah. And then I remember I went to work the next day or the week after. I can't remember exactly back then. And I was telling one of my friends and I said how Sophia had been diagnosed with autism. And she said to me, I'm so sorry. Yeah. And at that point, I didn't know I needed to hear that. Yeah. It was like words that just hit me. It was like someone had thrown a dagger in my heart. Yeah. Because when we got the diagnosis, I mean, you're told, you know, that's it. And someone will get in touch with you and we get a developmental coordinator that comes and visits, and she just gives you a pile of documents and goes, here you go, read this. Here's what autism is. These are some supports that are available. These are some people you can get in touch with if you need this, that, and whatever. And so you're just thrown in a world. And so, I mean, it was hard because, it was something I needed to hear, but I didn't know I needed to hear. Yeah. And so now when people tell me, I've had people tell me that, oh, we're going through the process of getting a diagnosis for my child, or we've just been diagnosed, or, you know, those things. And I feel internally grateful that they're comfortable to share it with me, firstly. Absolutely. But secondly, I just say the same thing. I say, I'm so sorry. Yeah. And it's a process and you're going to go through it and it's going to be bloody hard. Yeah. But you'll get through it. And when you're in the place that you feel comfortable, you want to talk, or when you're ready, I'm always here. Yeah. Yeah. Because there's just no words. Yeah. And everyone's journey, like I said, is so different. And there's no straight and narrow of that's what it's going to be. Exactly. Do you know what I mean? Like, pile of documents of this is her diagnosis. Here's some supports. There you go. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Did you have the same thing? I did. I did. Yeah. I actually was cleaning up my desk the other day and I actually came across all of that, all our folders and paperwork and things of like where you could reach out and get support. And I remember thinking like, wow, that's like background noise to me now. Yeah. But when you're first diagnosed, that's thick. Like, there's a lot that sits there. It's real heavy. Like I was the same as you. I was like, I expected it. And it was 2 days later, it just hit me like a freight train. And I remember sitting there and I was like, wow, like I have 3 daughters, that get to experience life in a different view. And now I have a beautiful boy that I'd longed for so long. And I've got him and he's an amazing child. Yeah. But the challenges that came with it, like the diagnosis and like what I did need was also what you were saying, like, you know, that hug or that I'm sorry, or it's grief, eh? It's grief. It is. Of like, it's a different grief of like what you expected life to be. Yeah, absolutely. And like those little things that you just are never going to be able to maybe do or celebrate or and I think it never goes away.
Yeah.
That grief never goes away.
It
People
just
go,
changes.
you'll get through it, or it'll go away, or they'll get better.
Yeah.
They'll get better. That's the
Yeah.
hardest one.
Yeah.
Oh, they look normal now. They look okay now.
Yeah.
It's
he'll get words. And the
Yeah.
words are supposed to take away all the physical or the
Yeah.
frustration or
But little do they know that autism actually that can be reversed by a single thing that
Shut
traumatizes
down.
them.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so, yeah, it's those sorts of things that people don't understand. But I mean,
Yeah.
reflecting back to those documents as well, I remember now looking back as well. I mean, I haven't looked at them recently, but a few years later after, none of it was relevant. Like,
Yeah.
none of it was helpful.
Yeah.
Nothing
yeah.
in there I would be doing now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
It's literally about building your own community,
Yeah.
finding people, joining like
Groups.
social media groups.
Yeah.
I found social media extremely helpful.
Yeah.
And for some people, it's not their thing, and that's okay. But for me, like I've built a community that has now wrapped around where my days are hard and I share things and other mums message and like send me love and support. And like, I reckon that's been the best part of the journey. Like,
And you know what, Mel? It's so cool that you do that. And like
Yeah.
nothing stops you from doing that, because
Yeah.
I mean, even for me, like in the beginning, I was sharing so much of my journey and so many people had opinions about it.
yeah,
And so many people think, oh, they're doing it for sympathy, or they're doing it
Yeah.
for, no, I'm doing it for awareness. I'm doing
Yeah.
it for advocacy.
yeah,
I'm doing it so that people like you do change.
yeah.
And that you
Accept-
actually stop and think.
yeah,
you know?
definitely.
So, I mean, don't ever stop that, because it's so important. And
Yeah, I think so too.
it's something that, like I said earlier, it's like that stigma around it that people,
Yeah, definitely.
are just careful. So,
Okay, so now I have a big question for you.
I'm scared.
If the world could learn one thing from your child, what would it be?
Oh, I mean, there's probably multiple things, but I mean, probably that tomorrow isn't promised,
Yeah.
and that, you've just got to take each day as it comes and don't sweat the small stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I think same for me. Like, be kind, like you don't know what everyone's going through.
Totally.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot. Well, thanks, Brooke.
No
Yeah, it's been awesome.
Thanks for having me. And
No
I'm so
worries.
glad I've been able to, talk about our journees together. And
too.
I hope this relates to a lot of people. There's not many people out there that will go out there and talk about their journeys. And, I want to elaborate that it did take a lot of bravery to come in today and to be
Yeah.
able to talk about it, because I know that there is stigma around this stuff and things that people don't want to talk about.
Definitely.
But, I think it's really important to get people to be able to talk to others and relate to it.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.